That's your fault. You said 3, 2, 1. I went after the 1. Hello?
Hello.
Stephen, did you know TurboTax is free no matter how you...
I mean, as usual, I'm the wrong person to ask for that because I'm listening to this and therefore can't listen to that.
I can't tell. My hands are currently busy.
Okay, let's try this now. I think I figured it out. There we go. It looked like my audio was not recording, but, so. Sorry if people did not hear what I said, but, welcome everybody. It's David /
If you're hearing only portions of a conversation.
Yeah. So, in this case, we do have, of course, me, Fates, and MTX. And here we go.
I don't know how far behind I am, but I only... Oh, never mind. I was about to say I only see couch, but I just saw the couch disappear.
Yeah, it takes a moment. So, okay, I'm starting over from scratch. This is gonna be fun. Alright. Let's do OpenShift. For a more relaxed session. And we get a bit of the story about this. That hasn't changed much. A new breed of worker. The labor is extremely dangerous. Well, yeah. You're working out in space.
Okay, I've checked the audio balance. You're coming in pretty soft, David.
Okay, let me adjust that a little bit. I was trying to stop it from, like, getting some weird windy noises.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Better.
Okay. Shipbreaker application paved the way. Okay. Congratulations, links, spread 124.8 million applicants based on your above average / exceptional physical and cognitive ability. Oof. Salvage at 42.
That's quite a number of applicants for a single position.
Oh, yeah. Employment to pave the way of the Galaxy program is the sole discretion of Lynx Corporation can be revoked at any time. Acts of insubordination or malice will not be tolerated. Next. Account name. Profanity / anti-corporate slang / jargon is not accepted. the butts. Spares, unlimited spares. What the heck's the spare thing? Ever work asset replacement program to new employees.
Oh.
Oh.
So if you die, they can recreate you.
They clone you. And that's 150,000 per revive. Correction, clone. Okay.
Well, let's talk that you're making buku
That's
to
if you're
make the
making
150k worth it.
Let's
Because if
see.
you're making less than 150k, you're going to go into debt real fast if it even lets you do that.
Yeah, but this is like the restaurant industry, and a lot of stuff is invested into things. Profit comes later.
Meal preference. Oh, hey. I'm gonna stick with standard here. Those ones are like what voices you hear when you do stupid shit. Food process is considered proprietary preferences. Food cost is based on current market value and may change. Chicken, plastic free. Vegetarian and entomotarian. Bugs. I'm gonna go with chimkin. Because
Okay, well, I mean, just keep in mind, if you choose anything other than plastic-free, you're signing up to have have 20% or less plastic in your meal.
oh boy. Yeah, but what does plastic free entail? Like, is it like
Probably wheatgrass.
wheatgrass? Yeah, I'll stick with chimkin.
Nothing but wheatgrass. Okay, I mean, you know, rubber chicken is still chicken.
Yeah, I'm not joking. Chicken is chicken. Terran or Martian zones. A record of the Jovian frontier is acceptable. Okay. I'm not a member of or have associated with the workers' union or other labor interests. I've completed my annual medical exam and have been cleared for having Mikulo's lung. I have no commercial.
So like a super advanced version of black lung.
Maybe. I have no commercial or real estate interests on Luna, in the asteroid belt, or the nation state of.
I don't know if you can complete this application. You do have real estate interest in the nation state of Arizona.
I'll just, lie.
You're just going to lie on your application?
Guess.
I have a feeling that lying on your application to this company might be a little worse than some places.
What's the worst they can do? Not hire you?
Oh no, they can fire you into deep space.
I will bring a positive attitude and problem-solving mindset to work every day.
Well, I'm out.
Angrily, yes. Positive angry. I understand and accept the health risks associated with long-term exposure to a van der Waals field. Ugh. Just, ugh.
Oh wow, I just love that last bullet point.
Welcome to the future. I will vote for Chancellor Chun Zhang in the Pan American Senate election. I will not, but
So I'm guessing if you don't in fact vote for Chancellor Zhang, then that means you could be fired for it, because it was a condition of your employment.
Let's see here. As of
It's only slightly more corporate than modern day.
yeah. Okay, this is November 23, 29. Myself, still an LF, but employee. Collect, analyze, and utilize biometrics. Oh, I think this is basically the terms and conditions of
The game itself.
not games itself, but just kind of like being an employee. Employee hereby grants permission to links, authority to garnish their wages if their actions or lack thereof result in any real or potential losses for the company and or its affiliates.
So the basis. So in other words, you can be docked from your paycheck if you screw up bad enough, which means that if you would go into debt and can't afford to pay for your clones, you can be billed it onto your not billed it, but you can have it deducted from your paycheck.
Yep. AKA, hello, wage slave of the future.
It doesn't feel that different.
To links the authority in perpetuity to record and own their DNA to create what?
Yeah, in order for them to be able to clone you when you're dead, they need to have your permission to do so.
But
that seems fairly boilerplate to me, or boilerplate to me. I mean,
manipulate, reciprocate, and duplicate any and all of my gray and white matter at any time. Okay, so in the event of my total...
Well, yeah, they gotta inject your memories back in.
Yeah. Grants permission to links to the authority to transfer any and all unpaid debts owed to links and or any of its affiliates to their next of kin. In the event that terminate, disappear, and or say perma-perish.
So if they can't recover you by cloning, they reserve the right to go after your next of kin for any damages. That's fairly standard.
Okay.
As a wage slave of the 21st century, this all sounds very standard to me.
24th. Because it takes place
No, I'm saying me 21st.
Yeah.
I said me 21st.
Also, get ready for a bit of country music, but mixed in science fiction.
Okay, just a quick word.
So, Borderlands?
Each day he steps into the yard
What was that?
to earn his
Which
wages
buttons are
for
which
working
on
hard.
the Xbox One controller for the center to menu and
I pray to
select
the stars and heaven
The one on the
to return
left
my daddy to
is
Dusty
the menu,
Rock.
is menu, and the one on the right, the one on the left is share, and the one on the right is menu.
He and Dusty
Ignore it's idiot proof.
Okay.
bless the next cutter that takes his seat.
I am also doing the game. The game is called Rebuilding My Controller.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's a fun game.
But yeah. Here's what shipbreaking entails. And sorry about any cuts. It's just in order to play this game fairly decently. I can't really have VSync on, which is sad. But that's our new job.
Slice up dead ships and take the pieces and oof them.
Hello, Cutter 9346-52.
Basically, we put the sort them, and anything that can be reused will be put onto a barge to be put back into ships.
Faith, boundless promise,
Fair enough.
limitless
And anything that
resources,
can't,
a
you just
brighter
leave it chilling in space all happy?
Here,
If it cannot be recycled, it gets incinerated.
backbone of civilization.
Also, we're getting our corporate
Pave the way to the galaxy.
howdy do and hoorah video.
Alicia Rai Paulson, president of Lynx Corporation Salvage
That makes
Division.
sense.
When my great-great-grandfather, Exeter, founded
Your onboarding video where you have the CEO, the COO, and a couple of random plebes all talk about what a great company it is to work for.
Essentially,
Now spanning all the way to Jupiter. These are the veins connecting all of modern civilization.
basically,
And the people flowing through them are its lifeblood.
interstellar, not inter. Is it interstellar or interstellar?
And are key
That's for
to
within
our
the star.
continued progress. You have been selected
Within the star would
among
be intra,
thousands
wouldn't it?
candidates to
Intrastellar,
join the
yeah.
Because inter would be between the stars.
This is
Yeah,
more than
this would
just
be
a
but then we
job.
could use
intrastellar.
Interstellar.
Opportunity
Yeah.
Because it would still be
to be
in.
part of the largest,
Yeah.
most successful.
Basically, Lynx is a huge in-system shipping company.
forge your own destiny one day.
Cool.
Work hard, heed your superiors, believe in the Link's vision. Do this.
Ah, yes.
and you
Follow the
truly
rules,
will
and you
your
too
choice.
may become
Your first
something
step
higher
is
than a
to
wage
join
slave.
our Everwork program.
Ah,
The
the explanation of the
greatest
Everwork
gift we give
program.
our employees, turning death into an ongoing opportunity. for
Oh, okay,
learning
so that
and
hasn't
growth.
changed from the 21st century either. We promote from within.
Fresh start. Good luck.
Death is a fresh start. Yes, I want a fresh start. Eh.
Video observation complete. To finalize onboarding, your genetic sequence will now be extracted for use with the Link's Everwork Asset Replacement Program. Don't worry, pain levels during extraction are largely tolerable.
Largely.
Please
Ow.
note, as outlined
Ow.
in Section 31 of your employment
Ow.
agreement, the process of genetic extraction will destroy your original body.
Ow.
Beginning extraction now.
Oh.
You're making a lot of noise when it's telling us that the pain levels are tolerable.
Extraction analysis and backup complete. Thank you. Beginning
Oh.
layer generation.
Tolerable. Ow.
Wow, so you start out as a clone.
Yeah.
They literally destroy you to make your first clone, which means that's exciting.
Genetic sequence.
Which means that immediately you start out owing the company 150 grand.
Yes. It is now safe to die. Shipwrecks are responsible for the cost of biomaterials used in the Everwork process. An additional fee is required for deaths that occur outside of working hours. You now proceed with salvage training. Good luck. Loading fees. What? What?
Additional fee.
I
But that's only if it's outside working hours. So don't die outside working hours. Only die during working hours where it's just the normal 150K. Oh, Jeebus.
Oh.
Never mind the 150. You're already on the hook for a hell of a lot more than that.
You know what's the cherry on top?
The 750 at the end.
The display of fees report for 750. So
Yeah, that's again, that's fairly standard.
okay,
1.2 billion.
and let's see.
Granted, also at the same time, 1.2 billion in if we presume that that inflation proceeds apace with what we've seen in our lifetimes, 1.2 billion 300 years from now is going to be like 50 million in today's money.
That's still
It's still a big chunk of change. It's still not reasonable, but it's a hell of a lot more reasonable than 1.2 billion in today's money.
let's see. Citizen report check, aka background check, medical analysis, transportation to work site. Okay, makes sense since I'm being flown into space.
Seat selection fee? You could have put me on the aisle. It's okay.
Kessler passage toll.
Okay, so there's a toll. Luggage handling. Sure.
Okay. Automated onboarding procedure. If I'm looking at this right, the automated onboarding procedure
was literally the system up until this point.
Yeah. And then
lifeguard genetic backup storage. That's self-explanatory.
but
Biomaterial refrigeration. But you don't own the biomaterial, so I'm not sure why you're being charged refrigeration of it. That one seems weird to me.
it's in case I die because I have to be regenerated on site.
Equipment security deposit. Hey, there's a security deposit in there. Some of this money you stand a chance to get back if the equipment's returned in good order when you're done working for the company.
Yeah, degaussing and delousing.
Delousing, I mean, that's weird because you're a clone, so you should be free of lice to begin with. Degaussing, I could see that
Oh,
where that could be a thing.
This may degaussing and delousing maybe not to me, but to my habitation, aka because habitation, cleaning, repainting, on-site training, helmet interface stuff.
Which, wow, that's an expensive update.
I have to pay for it. Meal prep annual. Okay, makes sense since I'm working on managed human premium. Oh, thank you for that. I don't want to know what standard is.
I don't want to know what the difference is at all. Yeah, let's just. Immigration. I mean, I didn't realize you'd moved to a new country. I mean, obviously, space, yes, but entertainment library fee. Do you actually get to use the entertainment library? Because otherwise, that fee is kind of bullshit.
Since essentially I work on site, when there's not a ship in dock, I'd say that's basically the equivalent of
downtime.
Downtime. Tracking
implants. Tracking implants. That's fair. Salvage rights fee. I mean, technically, you're not salvaging for yourself. You're salvaging for the company. Yeah. So that one feels like bullshit. Financial account setup fee. I mean, that's $5,000 compared to the rest of these numbers is meh. Account maintenance fee monthly $2,000. Administration $500, and then the $750 cherry on top.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are ridiculous. Some of them I'm like, okay, fair. I'm just a little impressed that it costs $120,000 for a background check.
Oh, hey, the air in my Lynx Hab unit is replenished every 2 weeks for consistent freshness.
Breathe. You're okay. Everything's gonna be good.
Well, I mean, hopefully you also have a recycler so that you're not at any risk of running out outside of that 2 weeks.
Anyway, welcome aboard. The name's Weaver.
And we get an introductory talk from this Weaver guy.
And a couple of the other shipbreakers in this region. This here's Morgan Station. She may not look like much right now, but once we boot her up, she'll purr like a kitten. All right.
That's
Let's
new.
test out your orientation control. Do me a favor and look up at that cargo elevator up above. That's it. So that's where all the salvage gets collected to be picked up by the transfer crew. Just in case you ever turn yourself out of whack, use your roll thrusters to reorient. All right. Now let's get you flying. Activating your thruster controls now. Try moving around.
Nothing to say at the moment?
Just, it's tutorial.
He's just going through his controls.
Now, vertical control.
Oh boy. Control number C is down.
Looks good. Now to finalize these movement checks, I need you to fly to these waypoints. Used to be a cutter myself, you know, till there were some complications with my last revive. Those were early days in the tech, though, so never you mind about that.
Ooh.
Oh, almost forgot about the most important thing. Brakes. Get yourself going at a decent clip, and then test them out, why don't you?
Hello to you too, Panya. And I don't know what you're talking about going to bed. It's literally 7:30.
Are you telling us to go to bed, or you to go to bed? But you're going to bed.
Looks like the bay here was left in a bit of a mess. We're gonna...
I mean, the phrase typed in was "go to bed," so
activate the furnaces.
You should presume.
Now.
everyone
Dang,
The world.
just...
everyone could use a nap.
There you go.
I would personally disagree.
So these furnaces are used to melt down soft metals. Should go without saying that these things are as hot as all get out. So try not to drift into them by accident.
AKA the incinerators.
Let's get a handle on your grapple tool. This fella here is a shipbreaker's bread and butter. This is how we move salvage around. Activate the beam and hold it to grab an object and move it around. If it's not too heavy, give it a go and move one of these pieces into either furnace. So when you're holding an object with the grapple, you can retract the beam. This will pull a light object to you. If it's heavier than you, it'll pull you towards it.
Right.
Check out your HUD when you've got an object grappled. It shows you the mass of the object and whether you can move it or not.
Oh no.
Nice job cleaning up that soft metal scrap cutter. Let's move on to the bigger nanocarbon chunks now, shall we? You may have already noticed that these are too heavy to move with your grapple. I'm enabling your scanner so we can check out their structural makeup. Go ahead and boot it up.
T.
This mode of your scanner lets you assess an object's structure. What I want you to focus on right now are these cut points. All right. Control is giving me the go-ahead to get you cutting. You have quick access to all your tools through your HUD. Just open up the tool selector and choose the cutting tool. Your cutting tool has two modes. The first one is the stinger. It's designed for precision vaporization of cut points like this. You ready to perform some zero-G surgery, Cutter? Well, let's split this scrap so it's light enough to move.
Too far away from cutting point. Melt.
That's how you do it. Okay, let me boot up the processor so you can salvage these. Do me a favor and look towards one of them there so I can see if they activate right. Yeah, perfect. Wish me luck here, Cutter. Me and technology ain't always the best of friends. Hey, alright, we're in business. Now swap over to your grapple and toss one of them pieces you separated right in there.
Do line it up. And just bounce it in. Whatever.
Hey, if it goes in, it goes in. As long as you don't accidentally dump it in the furnace.
There we go.
Okay, we're almost done getting
Oh,
this thing
sweet.
in shape. Let's go after that large aluminum chunk over there. Now this beast is way too heavy to move as is. It's also too dense for your stinger to break it down, and there are no structural cut points for us to take advantage of. We're going to have to switch over to the split saw mode of your cutting tool and start slicing this thing down to size. go ahead and switch cut modes now.
Okay.
Now try changing the angle of the cut. We're in business. I've unlocked the trigger on your cutting tool. It'll split that big chunk clean in two. Go ahead and give her a whirl. I'm going to turn on your salvage indicator so you can track how much work is left to do. This thing will track how much you've salvaged and how much you've lost. For now, let's try and hit that first goal marker. And that's what it's all about, Cutter. The more salvage goals you complete, the closer you'll get to hitting your certifications and ranking up.
Oh, good. We have levels. And then... Oh, hey. Oops. I put aluminum in the wrong one.
Object not accepted.
Oops!
Oh, that's not good.
Training.
Aluminum should have gone in the furnace.
Material deposited.
Yay. Let's see if I can get a bank shot.
Okay. That's done. Make sure everything is still wired.
Oh god. No, don't go in there.
Let's try this again. Drop a piece of scrap into the furnace on either side of your bay. Great first shift in the yard, Cutter. Let's head on over to your hab, and I'll show you the ropes there. Now fly on over back to the master jack. I'll put a marker on it so you can find it easy. When you get there, head on in, and we'll get started. Great first shift in the yard, Cutter. Let's head on over to your hab, and I'll show you the ropes there. Now fly
That's a
on
bit
over
of a
back to
hiccup.
the master jack. I'll put a marker on it so you can find it easy. When you get there, head on in, and we'll get started.
And this will be my home for the next long period.
Pretty much for the rest of this life and probably a number to come.
Oops. Okay, cool. Nice. Decent.
It's an honest living, if you don't care to go home.
Everyone could use that. Let's see. Okay, cool. I am now...
Congrats, Cutter. You're already on your way up. Head on into your hab, and we'll check things out.
Those are 7.
Basic certification, rank 2. Master points earned. Master points of credits.
I mean, 273,000 credits in for a training shift is actually not too bad.
Yeah.
Especially since it said it's going to go up better. It's going to go up in the future times based on your promotions.
Yeah. And I had 200 mastery points, aka getting stuff fixed out and stuff like that. And I'm guessing the stream looks okay so far. Just a couple of hiccups.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple small hiccups. Nothing too major though, where everything's going pretty good.
Yeah. But that's And this is what we look like inside.
Hello, shipbreaker.
Oh, hey, this is
You have
definitely
one
new.
incoming transmission waiting.
This is definitely new. This was not here last time I played. But, okay, yeah, there's our... Okay, answer intercom. Kitchen. Okay, terminal, that's probably where we watch stuff. Oh, hey.
Welcome to your new home, Cutter. Has everything you need. This is officially called a ready-made long-term employee habitation something or other. But around here, we just call it your house.
Your head.
Now, how's about you get yourself some rest, and we'll pick up your training in the morning. Now, sleep tight there, Cutter.
I want to see what's outside my window. That's a shitty cleaning job. There was still a handprint on that. Oh, they put me to sleep
Good morning,
immediately.
Shipbreaker. Please enjoy the following inspirational message. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you do, you will be successful.
That's more corporate jargon. Good morning, Shipbreaker. Reminder, minimum payments are due by 10 a.m. Solar Standard Time each day. Failure to pay on time is considered a breach of contract. Thank you for your hard work and cooperation.
Rise and shine, Cutter.
Well, hopefully that means that you work a night shift.
Oof.
You ready to continue your training?
Because otherwise,
Have a look at your
if you work a 9 to 5
Now, let's get
and you
caught
have to
up
make
on
your payment by
career
10
progression
a.m.,
and certification. I've sent
That
you a
means
message
basically
with the next
yesterday's
rating. Now,
goes to today's.
Go on and give it a read.
yeah.
Relay terminal. Yay, corporate emails and certifications.
Clear as mud? Don't worry. I'm here to walk you through the process, and soon enough I'm going to introduce you to some of the other shipbreakers. Most of them are willing to help you out.
Career progression.
All right, let's start a new shift.
The upward
and
mobility
get your
starts
first
already.
ship to work on.
Certification system is proprietary career progression tool for all shipbreakers. Provides each employee with a fulfilling and promising future as part of the Lynx family. Oh god, I'm being infected by the southern accent. Oh no.
Oh no.
Dear lord, it's getting worse. Certification.
Lord have mercy. We don't need all that now.
Oh man, I'm gonna need me some pecan pie. Structure mode is pre-installed on every optical cross-spectrum scanner unit within the standard issue Lynx worksuit. This mode is core part of Shipbreaker's toolkit as sets the structural makeup of a ship. Demarcating hull panels. It took me a moment to figure out how to pronounce that because, like, is that an A or an O? Structural beams and important parts. Financial relief program. I thought I was in here for the long haul. Everything is important and good in this world comes with a price. Each privileged person who joins our family becomes a shipbreaker, comes with significant costs. Fortunately, Lynx shoulders the burden of these costs temporarily in order to let you hit the ground running and begin training stress-free. Cost of share is handled through an innovative employee financial relief program. All essential onboarding costs, fees, including cost of training, equipment borrowed from Lynx Salvage, and of course the Everwork, which I think was the 500 million that they charged us for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which enables safe, unlimited career progression and growth through the power of Lynx technology. All the value that you earn as a shipbreaker will be automatically deducted from the amount you owe to the financial relief program. This ensures that the borrowed amount is paid off as quickly as possible so you can get on with building yourself a brighter future.
So, in other words, the financial relief program is that they pay your bills up front, and so that you have this 1.2 billion debt, and then everything you earn for the first 1.2 billion plus any new fees that come up are automatically deducted from your pay,
Or added if you die.
or
But-
added if you die. That falls under new fees.
Yeah. And then, of course, the quotations annual food fee, meal prep, which, annual. You literally just paid for an entire year's worth of food, which, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Proud to introduce.
Yeah, but I mean, the plus of that is that you've got 364 more days until you have to pay for it again.
Yeah. With performance in mind, salvage goals should help shipbreakers in understanding the expected total value expected from the ship. AKA, this is how much we expect to get off from this ship, and what we expect. Salvage goals are on the incentive rewards per overall progress, yielding additional rewards when reached. These goals provide many goodies to our valued shipbreakers, highly rewarding to those who reach all provided ship goals without destroying salvage. AKA...
So no doing what you did yesterday.
Yeah, don't do that. But apparently these goals are also... I met the minimum one, which was like 50%. These ones may change depending. So... new ship. The Mackerel Light Cargo and Station Hopper. Mackerel Station Hopper and Light Cargo. The Kleinco Mackerel is the most common ship model in colonies, aka the Belters, aka the people that live out in the asteroids. Civilian cargo and can contain a wide variety of objects. The Station Hopper transport is out with add terminals. Electrical safety is advised. Our ships are simply the best. Recently, safety reports are wrong. Grenda Meisterson, Junior Marketing Associate. Okay.
And something tells me the electrical safety warning is don't try and disable the ad terminals.
Yeah. So, basically, certification is our rank. Rank 1, basic. Rank 2, ship 1 certification, we get the mackerel. 3, get heavy cargo. 4, we get the Atlas, and then we get some tools. Tether module. Ooh, I wonder what that does. And then when we hit 5, which is basic, mackerel exolab, stinger. Wonder what a stinger is. Grapple. Okay, increases range. Scan mode. Objects unlock. And then, of course, we have Red Seal, Veteran, Senior Specialist, Master Salvager, and Grandmaster. And durability? Oh, let's take a look at the kitchen. Ooh. Live, laugh, salvage.
Okay.
Oh, hey. We have a food pyramid. So, no non-plastics are obviously our sweets. Chimkin is our dairy / meat section. Vegetarian. And then entomologian. So, wheats.
Also, I love how you're just going right past the live, left, salvage.
Oh, that's because we can change it. Decor.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Like, we can have, like, the Salvage Division Habitat Enrichment Department. Sweet-looking poster. Or decor. Home. Links. Nothing. I'm half tempted to just put it as home. Okay. Let's go check out the Oh, hey, we got a workstation right next to the bench. And can't do anything with our equipment. Oh, hey, we have more. Nothing on our posters. Well, let's start our shift.
This is the catalog that shows you which ships you have access to from the shipyard. Every day, you can choose to continue working on the ship you've got or start a fresh one. Go ahead and pick one, any one, and we'll get to work.
Admittedly, like, all we have right now is the Zephyr 4, which is a mackerel station hopper. And apparently there's hazard levels. The Oceanus, mackerel, light cargo. The Odin, station hopper. And Salty Triton. Salty Triton it is. Last owner, the Direct Ways. So we have the goals right here. Which 4 LT, 8 LT, and if we hit this third one, we get a free repair kit in 20 LT. Links tokens, this stuff.
So what are the links tokens for?
Don't know yet. Admittedly, I do technically know, but I'm... Claim ship? Yep. Welcome to the first...
So it hasn't been addressed within this playthrough.
It hasn't been addressed within this playthrough, because apparently they're locking it behind level 5 for rank.
Ah, okay.
She's all yours, Cutter. Your primary goal is to reach rank 3. Now try to remember, nanocarbon goes in the processor, aluminum goes in the furnace. Try to salvage the entire ship if you can. We call it using the whole buffalo. You'll hit your goods faster that way. And start knocking out that debt of yours. I'll be observing and giving you any help if you need it. Good luck, Cutter.
I like Weaver. Weaver's nice. I wish there were more co-workers like that. Okay, so... kind of going over.
Back here.
Also, yes, this is going to be very disorienting for some people. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to actually find the entrance so I can try and get as much stuff out of the ship as possible. Since we're doing this under free mode, we don't have 2 meters that are normally here, which are our oxygen and thruster. Because I want to be as relaxing as possible for this.
Fair enough.
Yep. And, oop.
So is there like stuff that if you don't go inside and salvage inside first, you can lose if you start cutting up the ship right away?
Actually, you want to go inside because there are certain things that you may want to disable or pick up. Like this little hard drive here.
Oh.
As well as if you go inside, you notice these cutting points that are everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
We actually want to do that because then it breaks up the ship into nice little chunky bits.
Nice.
So... Alright. Cut her. And... swap mode.
I also like the fact that it straight up tells you this is for the processor, this is for the furnace.
I can't do that yet.
Now, I know these ships look intimidating to scrap at first, but trust me, soon enough you'll be stripping the huge Gecko-class freighters like they're nothing. Got my start salvaging back down Earthside in the droid scrapping business. You know what's made me come up here? Well, one day we got a batch of this particular model in. One of them kinds with synthetic skin and everything.
Ugh.
We almost never saw people looking ones like that.
So I thought when you had the pre-marketed, okay, never mind.
Someone found a warehouse full of them.
Sorry, I saw you on the pre-marketed with the big saw, and I was like, I thought that you didn't want to use the big saw on those. And then I saw you switch to the scalpel, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Word of a lie.
Yeah.
These things looked exactly like my stepbrother did. Even had the same slack-jawed expression. Now, Jed and I wasn't exactly pals or nothing. All the same, I couldn't bring myself to start smashing that dopey face. And that's when I looked into getting on with Links. Tell you what, it's a sight better to cut up something that doesn't look like a family relation.
Ooh.
Anyway, I'm running off. I'll clear the channel. Holler if there's anything giving you grief up there, Cutter.
Yep.
We were out.
Nice, good chunk that's all going in the processor.
Nice.
Just bounce right in, good sir.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
There we go. See if this works. Oh yeah, that they kept that. That's nice. If you can do it just right, you can actually line up multiple of these cutting points and then hit them with the normal cutter, and then get multiple in a row.
Nice.
Okay. Go in the hole!
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
There we go.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
I gotta say, doing it in this mode feels like it would have a weird kind of zen to it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weirdly zen. I mean, like, the standard mode is still kind of zen-ish. But... yeah, there's a bit more stuff that you have to worry about. Oh, wait. There's something out on the outside I should probably...
Well, like, I feel like that with the oxygen and thruster levels, you probably would eventually have to, like... You probably have to take more end of day breaks than you would in this mode.
There we go. Go over there. Haha!
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
And we're going through essentially the reactor section. Yeah, that's a shot. Okay, we have separation. That's good.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
And we've hit goal 1.
Excellent.
And while we're just kinda...
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Oh wait, I haven't... I didn't cut a piece out of here.
one last little thing.
Hmm.
Oh no, just that you have one last little, essentially restraining bolt, holding that one piece in.
Yeah. Well, that's the sides off. Now we need to get the top and bottom and the butt and face off.
Salvage gained.
We've
Credits
reached.
awarded.
So, time to cut the butt slash top off. And for that, and I think on this one, I'm not even worried about durability. So.
Is that why you're doing all the bank shots? Because you can't actually damage the parts of the ship as you're knocking them around?
In this case, I'm... the durability is actually for my tools.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Finished.
Excellent.
And it's all back together?
Yeah. Why do you think I said finished? Admittedly, the moment of truth is yet to be decided.
Yeah. And that cap goes in.
But I can't attest to one thing.
Valuable
The
object
A button feels much better.
deposited.
Nice.
Nice.
In you go. And by having the butt cut off, we can easily get in now.
Mm-hmm. Granted, you were easily getting in before, but...
It's much wider aperture, so...
Okay. Let's see whether I've fried my controller or not.
Let's hope for not.
Lights on.
There we go. It'll get in there.
Things are connected. Seems to be working.
Object accepted for processing. credits deposited.
Also, I might have missed it, but obviously I know if the nanocarbon goes into the salvage, or goes into the fire, then that's literally lost credits.
Yes.
And I know if the aluminum goes into the salvage, it kind of gives you a message saying that it was not accepted.
Yeah.
But do you lose credits for doing that?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Now, if you're wondering what I'm trying to do here...
Okay, it seems to be functional.
Nice.
So, yay. A $5 fix for a $60 controller.
Excellent.
Ah, yes. 2 panels! This is a weird little thing that I love, but I absolutely love it because it allows me to cut multiple things at once. And look at that. It's bottom of the ship time.
What's the difference between the bottom and the top?
Not really. Not a lot.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
So, yay! Happy tires.
Yay.
Especially since I started off with a different controller scheme to disassemble.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, and look
Well,
how...
it's mostly the same until you get to that point, and then it's like, that board doesn't look like this board.
And we're almost... Oh, hey, we can probably get a cert of...
Processing valuable objects.
rank 3.
Which is the heavy cargo cert?
I think it's the heavy cargo cert.
Anyway, one of the other topics that we can talk now that I am no longer distracted, how about we talk about Arcane?
Ah, yes, we can definitely talk about Arcane.
Since everybody here has finished it. Audience?
I think...
Audience, be aware that spoilers may exist.
Yes.
Yes.
Spoilers may exist somewhere. They might be behind you.
Oh.
In front of you.
The spoilers are coming from inside the house.
They're always coming from inside the house. That's the point of spoilers.
Anyways, so yes, Arcane. Initial thoughts?
I think it was really well done.
I would personally agree. I found it very enjoyable.
Admittedly, I've always stated at every episode, it's like I have no idea what's going on with the lore and whether this is accurate, but as I understand it, it's based off of, characters with a very loose associations and such, mostly designed for their aesthetics more than anything else. So, them having deep character history, it did not exist in League of Legends. Is that correct?
That is incorrect.
Oh.
So each character does in fact have maybe not a novelization's worth, but each character did definitely have their own lore and backstory. The cities, like how we talked about, dang it, brain.
Piltover.
Now I can't remember. Piltover. We talked about Piltover. We talked about Zon, which is the Undercity. We talked about in Piltover. We talked about that too.
I don't know what it is because obviously this is the closest I've been to League of Legends.
It also doesn't help that we're talking about this after I watched it a month ago, and while I do have some League of Legends background, I don't have a ton. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh, I know that reference, but then trying to remember it literally a month later, I'm like, there were places and people, and admittedly, I don't know like all the events of the story. I don't know 100% how accurate, but there was stuff like when we met Vi and when we met Jinx, and first words out of my mouth when I realized one of the people we met was Jinx is, okay, cool. So Echo's here. We were meeting Vi. Okay, cool. Echo's here because Echo is one of my mains in League of Legends. He's my mid main. So, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's definitely a good, like the story I know, the pieces I know of the story. Yeah. I don't know if it was necessarily like 100%, if there were liberties taken, but it definitely felt, if not a picture perfect, certainly at least faithful.
At least you could say that it was well done, even if you had no understanding of what League of Legends, these characters, their relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The story of Piltover, of Zon, of obviously the conflict there. The story of Hextech, the Hex Gates and Hextech. All of that felt good. It felt like I was like, okay, I accept this as being related to, if not word for word, the canon as I know it. So
that
from that angle,
huge
I enjoyed it.
Of liberty or something very, very egregious, like, oh hey, we now have Space Marines. Why?
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Also, knowing what I know, there's additional pieces that I don't know how season 2, because I think we talked about it, that season 2 might end up being from a different POV. It may not necessarily be Vi, Jinx, Piltover, Zon. It might be like a different area.
We might get Misfortune.
Which, that's kind of cool if we get MF. But yeah, the reason I want to kind of mention is, like, there's a lot of characters that appeared in there, even if they just felt like they only got bits in there, that actually are champions of the game. Like, I mean, the obvious ones are, you've got Vi, you've got Jinx, you've got Echo, you've got Jace, you've got Heimerdinger. That was a little less obvious, but Heimer's
Well, you didn't see him do anything other than, be a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember her name. Violet?
No, that's Vi.
Not Violet.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The Sheriff, Kate.
Yes.
Cupcake.
Sorry, that's her official. That's her official title in the game, is the Sheriff of Piltover. So
that's why you said it was a bit of a.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some spoilers that could spoil future seasons if they continue with that group. Victor is another one that's a potential spoiler if they continue, because he is a champion, but not yet.
Well,
and there's big pieces of what that yet may become, but not yet.
Yeah, that was actually rather surprising how some of the character stories were handled, honestly. Like, they didn't feel like just repeating, tropes ad nauseum. Like, Victor didn't... Well, he obviously was incredibly guilty of the situation that he was forced into. But it's a good question of whether or not going into the remaining seasons, as you said, if we're going to see his character again, whether we're going to finally see what actually transpires him to become a champion, regardless of what kind.
Yeah. There were also, trying to remember, because I feel like there was one other person that my brain's like, oh, you know, this could be that.
Is there a possibility of her brother being a champion, like heavily disliked one or something? Like he's already dead into the show? Or is that just way too much meta nonsense that they wouldn't risk it at this point?
Sorry, whose brother are we talking about at this point?
The chancellor woman, I forget what her name is. The one that was tutoring Jace.
Oh, her. No, she's the one that I'm not sure. She reminds me of someone, I just can't think of who.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if she herself, her brother, there could be certainly something going on there.
Or her mother.
I don't think her mother. I think her mother is what she seems. I don't think that she's something more. I mean, I could be wrong.
I mean, there's also
like
a
I said,
possibility
I'm
that
not
some of these
super.
characters are heavily referenced in other character bios and such. Like,
Absolutely.
I was actually wondering whether the transformed state of the father character, in the first 3 episodes. Trying to remember his name. It starts with an N.
Oh, Ryan Jinx's father figure?
Yes.
He reminds me of someone, but I don't know if that's accurate or if, it might be like deep prequel. So it's really hard to say.
Yeah. But, admittedly, we've been just talking like the references and the easily nerd stuff, but I would certainly state that, again, that by its own merits, like its story, its animation, its presentation, like, it's done a pretty good job. In some ways, it's actually done an above-board job because I don't think I've heard anybody have negative talking points about it.
Yeah, no. Among people I've talked to, both who have and haven't played League, I feel like most people who haven't played or who have played League feel like they might have appreciated it more if it wasn't linked, which is an interesting point and makes me feel like maybe they saw something I didn't or didn't see something that they were really expecting. But I haven't seen anything like outright, oh god, this is trash. Not even close to that.
Yeah.
Also, apparently I was distracted. How did we get damage on our meter?
Because something was in the cockpit that should not have been.
Oh, and so it went into the furnace and you lost it?
No, it went into the composite.
Oh, into the salvage, okay.
Yeah.
And they're freaking out because you salvaged something that shouldn't be. Yeah. Copy that.
I think this is a good question I want to ask you. How did you feel about yeah, I'm having the same problem of not having watched the show for the past 3 or 4 weeks. The crime boss that ended up becoming a father figure to Jinx.
Oh, him.
Because he's an interesting character, I think.
I agree. He is an interesting character. I don't feel like I feel like he could be in someone's backstory, but I don't feel like that he is a champion of any event in and of himself.
I don't think he's a champion either, because searching characteristics, obviously he's not really much of a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
In any sense of the word.
I feel like the chemicals that they were developing, I feel like that does come into play later for certain champions, because there are certain monstrous champions, humanoid monstrous.
Yeah.
And I'd say we're
Well, I'm
good.
pretty sure. Okay.
The ship is completely dismantled, and yeah, there's nothing left for me to do. So,
Other than go home and collect a paycheck.
collect the paycheck, yeah.
And rank up.
Ranku up! But yeah, no, it felt like there were some people that honestly might have been champions, or at least potential champions, but you just don't know them yet. But at the same time, it was like... Let's see... Oh, the glass! The glass is a furnace. Apparently there were 2 aluminum panels in it. Hey, 90% salvaged is not half bad for technically my...
I mean, yeah, you hit all three. You hit all three marks, so all 3 goals. So it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 aluminum panels and some glass.
Yeah.
License upgraded.
Yeah, I'm now a recruit. But let's get back on topic, because talking about this game is like meh.
Well, after a point, you've explained it all, essentially.
Yeah.
Also, how on earth is there 3? What did you leave behind that was worth $340?
I think maybe like a chunk of aluminum.
Smoked.
Basically something like, because it like the cutting tool, like when you get down to the basic aluminum stuff, it's like occasionally you have to cut, and then you get like a small chunk that just kind of floats off, and you can't really pay too close attention to it. So
Fair enough. Like maybe like one of those bars that you had to cut out. It didn't quite land in the furnace or something.
yeah. And we take a nap.
Hello Shipbreaker 9346-52. Links would
But yeah, so there's a lot that took place in season 1, and I feel like a lot of it is setting up for future. But obviously at the same time, there are a lot of different characters and a lot of different areas that were not covered in season 1. I mean, one that comes to mind, we really, other than Heimer, we haven't really met any Yordles. We don't know anything about Demacia, which is another of the major city-states.
Mm-hmm.
But you're pretty much saying if they really wanted to do a frustration of a cliffhanger, they would go somewhere else for the next season, leaving us off with that last moment.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Also, one thing I find interesting, because, I mean, obviously we saw some battle stuff. Like, we saw Vi fighting, we saw Kate fighting, we saw Jinx fighting, we saw Jace fighting. But the one person of all of them, like, each of them really has, like, kind of a feel for their actual combat style. The one person that it kind of burns me that they really didn't do anything with his ability is Echo.
Yeah, that's why I sort of teased you a bit about how the fact that he got chunked. Because I feel
Which
like
is
he should be much
painful. Yeah, well, I mean, strength-wise, let's be honest. He's good in physical combat, but he's not amazing. He's not Vi. He's never going to be Vi. That's not who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But his power is literally time control. Like his ultimate is literally rewind 6 seconds, healing all damage taken in that time.
In some ways, they did demonstrate that in the show with him Especially, well, showing off the fact that he was coming back to his original thing to have a perfect attack.
Mm.
It was just the fact that he wasn't. He was playing football when he should have been playing chess.
Yeah, essentially. That's a pretty good way of putting it. And then, of course, like we said, Victor isn't really his champion self yet, so he didn't really have a chance to fight, but also it really would have been awkward for him to try and fight, considering he doesn't have his powers yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're trying to avoid what his powers are, simply because that would be sort of spoilers. Because it would sort of indicate what kind of character he's.
Alright, hold up a second there, Cutter. Because you've increased your rank, we're going to give you the next greatest ship.
I mean, once you're on the Rift, hero and villain goes out the wayside once you're on the Rift.
Electronics, furniture, all stuff that Lynx can collect and resell. You're going to want to toss those items on the barge. That's the big green thing below you. Go ahead, have a look.
Well, so we have a
Toss any valuable
new section here.
Components down there.
The barge.
Don't worry about breaking anything. There's a dampening field that'll catch everything.
New for this playthrough or new to you?
Nope.
Most of the time.
Just new to you two.
Give it a go.
Which we have things that.
So you don't just have the nanocarbon. You don't just have the aluminum. You now have like internal stuff.
Stuff like seating, computer consoles. And I'm going to go for some of the easier stuff right now, which are these antennas. Which we have to pop.
Oh, that's interesting. I like the fact that some stuff you can just pop off with the grapple.
Yep. And down into the barge you go.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Oh, that I did miss. Okay, so you now have a third place to put it as well.
Yeah, basically the barge is stuff that basically
you can directly recycle.
Stuff that essentially Lynx will resell because they're still good components.
Salvage secured.
Nice.
Now credit applied.
So we'll have things that like these nacelles, because they're actually stuff that we can pop off.
So essentially, the way it works is the processor is stuff that is usable in its current form for making new ships. The furnace is stuff that can be melted down to be recycled, and the barge is for anything that is basically just slap a factory refurbished sticker on it and send it back out.
Yeah. But
as long as you don't break it.
Basically, processor is stuff that requires extra steps in order to recycle it. Furnace is basic recycling, aka aluminum. Melt it down, reforge it. Things like nanocarbon, it's going to take some work to basically rip the carbon out and then remove all the polymers for it. Barge is basically, these things can be, as you stated, slap a refurbished sticker on it and then sold to somebody else.
Mhm.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So do we have any other thoughts on Arcane we want to talk about, or do we want to move on to another topic?
It's not necessarily about Arcane itself, but I do want to see more from the animation studio.
I would agree with that as well. They did a really good job with Arcane, so. Sorry, go ahead.
I think what they really succeeded at was making something uniquely theirs. Like, you could say that any of those frames of any of the characters and such, you would not be able to say, oh, it's from this animation studio or an anime or a video game or something like that.
Got that pretty quickly.
It's
Now, let me teach
pretty
you about
distinct.
kiosks. Once
Yeah.
the training wheels come off, links regulations
And then when it's
finish.
actually
You
in
gotta cover your
motion,
oxygen
it really
and
does
fuel costs.
a very good
That's
job
the way things go.
of
Turning it on.
characterizing and
Now, no
conveying
need to
a lot.
panic, they'll last you a good while.
Mm-hmm.
But if you end
So,
up running out, you
I
gotta
think the
go
animation
top up
studio
at the
really
kiosk
is
over
very
there.
good.
Let's have a look.
Absolutely.
Oh, apparently they made a change where they added fuel in O2, but I think it goes down super slow for relaxing. Because last time they just kind of, as soon as you got carbon and aluminum sorted, they turned those on. But now I have health, fuel, and O2.
And suit.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
Okay, so what we have is Craft EVA patch to fix just like new. Repair the integrity of your tools and equipment back at the hab. Tethers. Purchase a full refill of remote van der Waals field medium cartridges for the grapple tool. Must unlock. Demo. 5 demo charges. Fuel for, of course, vectoring, and oxygen for oxygen. Freeman.
Oxygen.
Freeman. Synthetically produced oxygen? Economically extracted from comet ice and gas mined nitrogen.
Maybe they can't call it organic because it didn't occur naturally.
I'm. How can you synthesize oxygen?
Having good stuff, good.
Well, you can essentially separate it from other materials like water.
Hit the next rack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Leave her out.
So,
Which, if
That's
they
why I'm
use
suggesting-
comet ice, then yeah, it sounds like that they used some type of thermal reaction to melt it and then bind the hydrogen or off of it.
Hello. That has a flame on it.
Hmm?
I just found a fuel tank.
Oh, nice. Is that something for the barge?
Yep. Tank is tank. And
Deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I didn't want to put anything hot nearby because, well, boom boom.
Yeah. Also, I was about to ask a stupid question, then I looked at the top and answered it for myself. I was about to ask, oh, so are we at a higher hazard level then?
Yep.
And yes, we are indeed at hazard level 2.
Yep.
And I'm guessing this is going to be one of those situations where you do want to hack the butt off the ship so that you can get easier access to pulling out the furniture and stuff.
Actually, you want to hack off the bottom of the ship. Or the top.
Okay, fair enough. I guess bottom would make more sense in this case since Literally, it's just a matter of grab, turn, drop, grab, turn, drop.
And I'm just trying to get this roll bar cage off the front of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good now. Let's move on to the next topic.
Okay, what's the next topic?
Let's see. So we talked about
Arcane.
Mm-hmm.
Valuable object processed. Credit awarded.
What, the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger?
We could definitely talk about that. Which just recently it was confirmed that Blizzard had acquired, well, not Blizzard, Microsoft had just acquired Blizzard Activision for 68.7
billion with a B, I presume.
billion.
Yeah. I mean, somebody pointed out that probably somebody was trying to push for purchasing it ever since they ended up having the scandal erupt last summer. Of essentially other corporations just sort of trying to muscle in and saying, hey, you got a problem here. We could fix it. Make it all better.
All you have to do is sign the dotted line.
Yeah, well, Bobby Kotick is getting his golden parachute, so...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, Munchies. I'm gonna be trying to be very careful because I just found another gas tank.
Oof.
So I'm popping the top off of this boy.
Yeah, because something tells me if you go wild cutting around that it may end incredibly badly for you.
Yeah. Nobody really saw it, but there is a warning at the beginning of this game about flashing lights and strobe effects.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, well, explosions will do that. Oh, hey, this was Lynx's own salvage. A salvage ship from Lynx.
Oh.
Processing valuable objects.
Oh, I killed a light. Whatever. Oops.
Oh, yeah, I see it there. As it goes tumbling away. It's just like, hey, you forgot me.
Don't you forget.
Somebody left an asteroid in that ship. Get in there, boy.
Well, you're not gonna send that to the barge?
It says furnace.
I know. I was making a joke.
Somebody wants a giant, huge rack.
Well, of course. Don't you?
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
You don't want a giant chunk of asteroid in your hab?
No. Okay. Popping that up there. Can I pop? Oh. Oh, hey, another.
Oh, dang. You got 120,000 creds for that asteroid shard.
Hey, I found another antenna that they shoved on the back here.
Salvage.
Oh, that's cool.
Credits deposited.
Actually, I'm not even... I don't think I'm actually even seeing my... Oh, my fuel is definitely going down.
Yeah, it's not fast, but it is happening. Your O2, on the other hand, I'm not seeing any movement at all yet.
Alright. And we are 141.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Also, just noticed the mission timer.
Oh yeah, in standard we only get like so many.
You have a set amount of time allowed to complete the salvage of a ship.
Yeah.
Which means that there would be shortcuts you'd have to take in order to get the most possible.
Well, either that or define acceptable losses, such as lights.
Mhm. Or, yeah, exactly. Or like having certain stuff where it's just like, yeah, the frame's worth more, so we'll worry about getting the frame pieces, and these gas cans can just go F themselves.
I'm gonna pop off the top, the rest of the tops here. I am the worst boy.
Really? The worst?
Well, it's the fact that like I'm bouncing around.
Yeah, but that's also largely due to the fact you were trying to line something up.
Oh, hey, this is a cargo hatch.
Valuable object processed.
Ah, fuck the light. Those are minimal. This cargo hatch goes into the barge.
Nice. I'm guessing light is supposed to be barge.
I'm guessing light might be barge or furnace.
Salvage deposit accepted. Bing. Credits transferred. Salvage gained. Credits awarded.
Trying to remember how I'm supposed to reel something in.
Easy, use a Ponzi scheme.
Oh. Oh. It's G? That was something else. And yes, I know they did have, get in there. Soft crate, which if you kind of push them against something, they'll explode, because I lost one soft crate.
I was wondering what had happened to that one. Yeah, I saw you pushing it, and then I didn't see it on the screen.
Oh, wait!
And I was
wait,
like,
there it
"What
is!
that one?"
It's shoved between stuff!
Oh.
Oh my, I somehow... Hello, physics. I somehow destroyed a soft crate. That goes in the furnace.
Oh, that's good.
Material deposited.
Destroyed nanocarbon. Eeps.
Oh, is there still a nanocarbon attached to that panel?
Yeah.
Well, damn.
It was a small amount from the looks of things.
Oh yeah, no, that's a small amount. Oh, wait, destroyed panel titanium. That was a little bigger.
Pop? Okay, that was a weird pop.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
No. Screw that way.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded. Salvage secured.
An airlock console is $45,000 for just a tiny thing? Man,
I mean,
First of all,
maybe it's got
inflation.
some advanced electronics.
yeah.
Secondly, it is a safety component, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Well, it is time to try and pop off the butt of the ship. To hold. Okay. Okay. Yeah, go in there. Get sucked in like the vacuum. And yes, if you go into either of those, you will basically die, by the way.
Valuable objects processed. Credits awarded.
Nice.
I'm guessing that also now includes the barge salvage zone.
No, barge salvage, you can pop yourself out of.
Just the other ones because 2 are vacuums and 2 are fire.
Well, one is basically the equivalent of going into an acid bath.
Hmm.
And the other one is, as you said, going into a fire. And with the fuel cell out of there, I can go in there and do some fun shenanigans. Yeah! 5 at once.
Nice.
And another light. I don't care at this point. I'm not...
I mean, clearly you're not going for a perfectionist run. You're going for a high enough to hit all the milestones run.
Yeah. See how many I'm able to cut this time.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Okay, the lights are actually barge.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded. Salvage gains. Rewards increasing.
Let's see how much a light actually costs. 1,067 credits.
Yeah.
Which is roughly the amount that they deduct from me when I don't...
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Well, there's one thing we could talk about. MPX. How do you feel about the $5 repair?
Oh, great, actually. Okay, you know how I've been complaining about my A button sticking during our Final Fantasy 14 stuff?
Yes.
Or have I talked about it loudly enough?
So, I'll be honest. Obviously, one of the two of us remembers you talking about this. I don't seem to, but that could also just be me being super focused on trying to remember mechanics.
Well, I don't know. It's the fact that I'm trying to do things when one of your buttons sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've actually gotten the seal out. Okay. What I replaced was this little rubber lighting with a bit of contact solder to it. The idea being is that this is the actual resistive force for your buttons.
Processing valuable objects. Credits
And
Alright.
the A button one is like has gained either enough looseness or something like that where it actually sticks in a depressed state versus reverting back into, you know, its
salvage secured.
non-connected state.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously when you also have the button on top of it weighing down, it's like much harder. Like I was having problems of like occasionally it sticking and not actually pressing the button, sometimes it was sticking and actually effectively depressing the button all the time.
Yeah.
It gets
I
annoying.
see that.
So, the annoying thing is that to get to the buttons for the Xbox One controller, you essentially have to disassemble the entire thing.
You can't just like pop a case off, like the front of it off. You have to literally tear it completely apart.
Okay, literally, I had to get to the final board. There's like, okay, you pop open the sides, you unscrew the bottom half, you pull off the top coat, and that's essentially gets most of the surface level of the controller off.
Mm-hmm.
And allows you to, say, change out your joystick caps and things like that relatively easily.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to the buttons, the official way to do this is then you're supposed to secure the rumbles motors, because they're loosely set in their cases. They're relying on the top half of the controller to keep them in.
Which is not great.
Well, it's a cheap and easy way to keep them in. You don't have to worry about people usually opening it up and changing things around all the time.
Fair.
But then the official instructions did recommend unsoldering some wires for this generation of controller. Thankfully, I managed to scuffer around it by not taking off wires.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable, it's not optimal, but it can be done. And then you have to take off the bottom board, which is the one that contains the two joysticks and the A button, or not the A button, but is it the B button? Maybe it's the B button. Let me just check the thing. Yeah, the B button. Simply because of how the controller is shaped. And then you have to access the board behind it and unscrew that board to finally access being able to pull out the buttons, because otherwise your buttons are obviously captive by the not only the shell but the undershell, you could say, of the controller, so they don't fall out. Because I already experienced that multiple times when trying to reassemble this thing. It's not fun trying to find your Xbox button when it's mostly clear plastic.
Yeah, that doesn't sound particularly entertaining.
Not to mention, I ended up having to go back and reassemble it, or get access, because somehow I managed to put back the bottom shell wrong. That prevented me from using one of the trigger buttons.
Oh.
So that was fun.
Oh, hey. Processor.
But it's done, it's finished. And as far as I can tell, the A button is responding nicely.
Nice.
Not to mention, I also cleaned it while I was having everything disassembled.
I mean, like you do.
Well, it's just a good habit. Not to mention, it was pretty gunky after a year of, more than a year of solid use. Anyway,
Let's try
would
and
I
get to...
recommend it? I would certainly say that it's a lot cheaper to spend $5 to repair a controller than spending 60 to get a new one.
Mm-hmm. So my question is, all told, not counting obviously waiting on the part, things of that nature, how much time did you invest in the full tear apart, replace, put back together?
Okay, I just started this evening, literally at around 5:20 before the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And a fair
It was
amount of that
about
was
8:20, I want to say, that you said that it was done.
yeah, but that was me again, as I said, having to go back and redo stuff, essentially.
Okay. So you were done was before the redo?
Yeah, well, a lot of it was also not having everything prepared on site. The occasional spill of, oh god, what happened to that button or screw?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that you should know better by now.
I mean, but at the same time, I feel like if someone was doing it for their first time, a lot of that might be the case as well. Of, oh, I opened it up and this decided to jump out of the controller, and now I need to hunt this down.
Actually, I would say the most difficult things is probably the first step is popping off the controller sides. Okay, do you happen to have an Xbox One controller on hack?
I do not. I have a 360 controller somewhere, but I don't know if that's going to be an apples to apples.
I don't know, but the idea is that there are two pop-in plastic things on either handle of the controller, and you're supposed to just simply pop them off by using a spudger and such. And it's really uncomfortable if you're doing this for the first time, honestly, because you need to pop them off and keep them popped off and not have them accidentally pop back in.
While also manipulating other things on the controller at the same time.
Well, essentially going around it to properly pull it off.
It sounds almost like unseating a tire on a bicycle.
Somewhat. I'd say it's more akin to like if your bicycle has some fancy fenders or something that you need to get out of the way. That sort of a nuisance. Like, they're relatively unimportant. Like, you could probably still use the controller perfectly fine without them because they're just there for show, essentially, and probably some extra grip. Not to mention they probably are an easy change out for modding or customization. Because all you just need is to have the same sort of pattern of plugin things. But they are jumpy things if you're not expecting them to pop off.
Processing valuable objects. Credit awarded.
So, if we say, and let's just stick with the existing number of 3 hours. Obviously, your individual mileage may vary. You may have easier time, or the individual person might even have a harder time. So if we just say 3 hours versus $60 to just say screw it and buy a new controller, I guess at that point it just becomes kind of the valuation of how important is it to you to be able to replace it versus how much money are you willing, to be able to repair rather than replace, versus how much money are you willing to spend to not have to fight it, is kind of where I think the argument would land.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Well, I think it's far more efficient to do it this way because even if it's an inexperienced hand doing this, the next time I have to replace something like on a controller or a phone or something like that, I probably have a bit more experience than I did beforehand.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you mess up?
I think I may have done what I did with that one soft one.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Oh, there we go.
And broke something as a result,
No.
or buried it somewhere as a result.
No buried this time. Okay. There we go.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Storage bins.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
I think I can finally move this thing.
Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
You know what? And properly? Oh no, it's still too heavy. Okay.
Well, it's funny, as you're trying to tow it, as you're like getting a point on it, I keep seeing like it flashing back and forth between processor and furnace.
Well, there's parts that are like the panel aluminum. That's furnace.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the nanocarbon hull, the yellow and black outer,
It's processor.
yeah. Oh, let's see if there's better security bolts in here. Furnace. Oh wow, these little tiny red lights are barge.
So I just noticed on at least three. I don't know if you got more than that. I only saw three, but on the three red lights, I didn't see credits pop up for them.
Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe they're so minor.
I mean, like, for my end, like, I'm not sure if you're hearing it, but there's this weird little Pip.
I think I can safely say I'm not hearing anything
Yeah.
because I'm not listening to the game.
Deposit not accepted.
It feels like you're just getting frustrated with this ship. Because
Kinda am at this point.
I'm just like, yeah, I see a lot of furnace and I see a lot of. You're just throwing that all in the process? Okay. Okay, sure.
Because it's like
Well, it
processor.
doesn't have much left.
What?
There's still a tiny rod still connecting this. Frick yeah. Alright, I think I've now finally got it, You're going there. You're going in the furnace.
Deposit accepted. Deposit not accepted.
Oh, hey. I mean, I could probably just say fuck it and call it a day. Because the only thing left is basically the cockpit.
I mean, you could, but that doesn't sound like the words of a person that's a billion credits in debt.
That sounds like somebody that, spends more of his time,
material deposited.
Ah, there we go. Frick it. Get in there. I'd say we did a decent job of stripping this thing.
I mean, you did hit all 3 milestones.
Yeah.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Another 90%. And what's probably the last little weird pip is stuff like that.
The stuff that's been reduced to just flotsam.
Flotsam and jetsam.
Processed. Credits deposited.
So. Oh, hey, and I can get to rank 4.
Welcome to Vindatron 9000.
Yeah, it looks like O2 does not go out, whereas fuel does, so.
Thank you for your purchase. Have a nice day.
Yeah. So, let's, end our shift. So, 92. Little bit less than last time. 4,000. Destroyed 75, 7.5. 13 lights destroyed. Roughly 2,256 kilograms. 1 exploded soft crate. 56 kilograms of nanocarbon. 126 kilograms of titanium. A food pack. Door. Aluminum. So 3 antennas. Nacelles. Those are pretty good. Airlock consoles. Also pretty good. Okay, so we roughly did 1.7 million. Not too bad.
No, not bad at all. I mean, that's about double what you made off of the last ship.
Yeah. And beginner. Okay. I think maybe this is about the point where they tell us, hey, you can now start doing stuff with potentially suit and or tools.
Yeah, I think you said the range was either 4 or 5
Yeah.
for the
Your
tools.
allocated shift time will be commencing shortly.
And we now have the Atlas Scout access to us. Purposed for getting away and back in the blink of an eye. Quasar thrusters. Atlas, powerful, dependable, enduring, the foundation of a better world. Starleap Heavy Industries. We now have hazard level 3. Electrical hazards during salvage. Introduced in 2299, Link Salvage does not do preliminary exams of ships to disconnect potential electrical hazards. One wonders what happened to OSHA at this point. Probably privatized.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what electrical components may arc when removed, impacted, or damaged, causing other objects to be electrified, including us. Okay, and daily fees. Interest at a 0.01. That's actually a pretty damn good interest rate. All things considered.
I mean, if it's a daily interest.
Yeah. So, bay lease, salvage transport, cutting tool rental, grapple tool rental, hab rent, hab utilities, helmet rental, suit rental, thruster. So, fees total. So, roughly we made 1 million out of this rather than 1.7. We've got a sticker. Yay.
Hey, Cutter. I'm looking at the stats coming from your bay, and it's looking like you're really gonna make your way around here.
Thanks, Weaver.
It's time to learn about how to upgrade your equipment and some of the more advanced tools you'll soon have at your disposal. Now head on over to your workbench in the equipment room, and we'll see about upgrading your tools.
Yay, Weaver's telling me how to upgrade shit. Yeah. Equipment.
I'm gonna read this straight from the manual. Links rewards hard work and learning by giving shipbreakers access to tool improvements and new equipment. Reaching salvage goals is essential for becoming a master shipbreaker. Basically, they want to make sure you prove yourself first before giving you the big guns. Completing salvage goals will net you shiny links tokens. Use those tokens here to get yourself some new gear. Sometimes there are some extra goodies in the rewards too. So let's get going and learn about one of the most important tools in a shipbreaker's toolbox. Tethers.
Tethers!
Go ahead and purchase them.
So basically, those link tokens are how we get upgrades or better access to certain tools.
Ah.
So, welcome to the tool tech tree. We have grapple license, which that's standard. Its range is 50 meters. And we have the push module. But we need 150 links tokens to unlock the tether module.
Which is what it expects you to do next.
Yep. Okay. An advancement to the standard handheld utility, the contiguous van der Waals tether field system, or simply tethers, reduces the need for multiple shipbreakers to move a single heavy object. AKA, you can link things together via tethers, and they will slowly, like if being pulled by the grapple, to where they need to go. Versatile tool and skilled workers led to the second greatest increase in salvaging efficiency in Link's history. Only losing out to Real Protein Breakfast Meal. Discontinued in 2262. Man, I missed out on some really good stuff, apparently.
Alas, you were converted into a clone 100 years too late.
Yep. Tethers are easy to use. You press and hold your secondary trigger button to place first contact, drag the connection to another object, and release the trigger to complete the connection. Or check to pull connected objects together. They can also be used to pull objects into the processor, furnace, or barge for efficiency and quick salvaging. So, the numbers on these are what number you have to get in order to unlock them. So, 5, 9.6. Thrusters. Most of the stuff like upgrades for this is like increase in speeds, braking, capacity. And one option is, of course, purchasing outright, which means we'll stop getting the rental costs on them.
Oh, nice.
And they're also on things like the helmet, the work suit. But we can't necessarily get these things just yet, because we have to get up to.
Yeah.
But we now have demo charges, which we have to wait till 11 in order to get them. And technically we can repair stuff but since we're doing this in easy mode, there's no real durability loss on these things yet, or at all.
Yeah.
Stickers are stuff that we can get. They're kind of like Chivos that we can place somewhere on.
I was gonna say, I guess the combination of Chivo and Glam.
Yeah, we can place them anywhere. I kind of like the tools as they are. But it's about 2.5 hours. And tethers are basically like the grapple, only you just basically stick them onto something and then grab them and put them someplace else.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I just realized, and I apologize, we have exceeded 9 p.m.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is Saturday and we tend to go to 11, but this is not Eddie, and this was more of a...
Oh, no, that was more for the other reason of 9 p.m.
Ah, right. Give me a moment. But... But that was Hardspace Shipbreaker, which, if I recall, is still in early access right now.
I think I did see an early access message pop up at the beginning.
Yeah. They do have a free play, which is kind of like the just relax option, but without the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's also something that apparently has just been added, or at least new to me, is the Cutter's Race, aka how fast can you cut down a ship, which apparently there's leaderboards for?
Oh.
There's also leaderboards for current debt remaining for some people, which the current one for OpenShift, number one has got it down to 820 million, but he's
that's a sizable chunk taken off.
But he's died 151 times. Number two has got... it's weird because, like, I figured this guy would be number one because he's actually got a lower amount. Oh, it's doing something weird. Where apparently... Oh, they're in the negatives amounts of the debt remaining. So they're positive.
Oh, they're actually at income.
Yeah. So
Mm.
number 2 has had 0 spares, but he's got like 813 million. So these are it's like I think
I mean, 813 million with 0 spares used is pretty damn impressive.
yeah.
But if you factor out, it was 150 per spare and 150 spares. That's if
Yeah.
they hadn't burned through so many spares, they probably would have cracked 1 billion.
Potentially, yes. But in this case, we're not going to go too far into how much. Also, this was a test of my new audio setup, which, yeah, no, I have a different mic now, and hopefully everybody did enjoy the sound of my dulcet tones, even though, sadly, Panya was like, go to sleep, and I'm like, no, I don't. But, yeah, this is not what I'm going to be playing for after Michael finishes up Final Fantasy IX. This was just kind of a, oh, hey, we need to make sure at least we stream once this week, just to be, sensible. And so this is kind of a one-off thing. We may come back to Shipbreaker, but we're not going to pay too much attention to the story. We're just probably going to play and talk about other things like repairing controllers or what we've watched recently. Hopefully a little bit more recent than what our attempt at trying to recall what we watched for Arcane.
I was about to say you're actually failing to recall what we were talking about, and that was less than a month ago.
Yeah. No, I was having a hard time to remember the name of the show, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, thanks for joining us, everybody. Hopefully you will join us on Tuesday, at least. Currently, due to certain schedule constraints, Eddie will be possibly moving his Saturday streams to a different day in order to deal with his new current work schedule, which is only temporary.
The conversation was actually moving the Tuesday to a different day.
Really? Was it Tuesday?
Yeah. It was moving the Tuesday to a different day, and the Saturday becoming if the universe permits.
Ah. So, Eddie may stream on a different day. Fridays will stay Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays will stay Fridays.
Yep. As for everything, no plans for podcasts. There's still a lot of the stars need to be aligned recently.
Yeah, we're currently in a slow season for stars aligning,
Yeah.
so please bear with us.
Other than that, of course, if you liked what you listened to, or at least shenanigans your way through, we do have, most of our streams are archived on YouTube. Our podcasts are also archived, as well as on every major podcasting platform. So, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Let's see. If you want to support us a bit more directly, we have, of course, the sub points here on Twitch. So if you have a free sub point from your Amazon Prime account, please. Or if you prefer a different method, we do also have a Redbubble, which slowly working on the designs on that one. I think the only design we really have right now is the couch.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, of course, we have a Patreon. Um, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, and that brings us around to next week when we'll be on Tuesday or to be announced. Speaking of to be announced, Facebook. Facebook is where things are announced.
Yeah,
Uh,
Facebook's.
please feel free to join our Facebook so that you'll know whether it's Monday, whether it's Tuesday, whether it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all that kind of what days we broadcast goes up there.
Yeah. Um, Also, I think it should be linked to Twitter now. Um, Also, a good, probably the best way to know when we're streaming is, of course, follow here on Twitch, because then you get the
Oh yeah, absolutely.
notification immediately. But
Yep,
if you showed up late, we do have YouTube. Our streams are archived. I mentioned that already. But
you did. Yep.
yep. But yeah, we have Facebook, Twitter. I'm not sure what happened with the Instagram. It's still, as far as I know, it's still there, but has not been used much.
Conversely, we do not have a TikTok. Please don't ask.
No, we do not. And,
Individual members may. We as a group do not.
Yeah. But, in this case, yes, I know it's not as long as we normally go on Saturdays, but this was more of a sit back and chill. And as such, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we hope you have a great night. Bye, everybody!
Bye!